It's 94.5 The Arrow. I'm on the phone with James J.Y. Young of STYX, longtime guitarist. Most STYX fans know him as J.Y., and for the sake of the interview, can I call you J.Y.?
By all means, Matt.
Beautiful. I certainly don't expect you to remember me, but we did meet many, many years ago when you were on one of your solo tours, and you played a gig for my station on Long Island, opening up for Dream Theater. Do you happen to remember that?
Oh, I'll never forget that show.
I remember their road crew was not very nice to you.
No, I mean, no.
But you did play a great set, and everybody loved you. Your band was terrific. So on behalf of my old radio station, I want to thank you again.
Not a problem.
So you're coming to Cape Coral on May 31st to play a free concert. And I don't know if they briefed you on this, but
no.
The show is due to the generosity of a local car dealership who has had such tremendous success here in Cape Coral that he's throwing a party for the whole city, and he's like an uber STYX fan, and he's paying for the whole deal himself and inviting the whole Southwest Florida area to come and see you guys.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're really looking forward to it. I haven't seen you in a couple of years, so I can't wait. I know you guys are currently on tour with REO Speedwagon and Ted Nugent. How's that going?
Indeed. Phenomenal. We just played Red Rocks in Denver 2 nights ago, and 2 nights before that was the Greek Theater in L.A., and those were 2 incredibly triumphant sold-out shows, and I don't know, there's something about this Midwest Rock and Roll Express. Unfortunately, that's not what's coming down Cape Coral on the 31st, but nonetheless, our portion of that will absolutely be there, front and center and ready to rock.
I know this tour hasn't been without its controversy, thanks to good old Uncle Ted. Have you seen any blowback from Ted's comments about the president?
You know, it's hard to measure if there's any real blowback per se. Some people have said yes, but I mean, the beauty of Ted Nugent is he is a one-man promotional machine, and even if he's never mentioned the tour that we're on with him ever in any of his talks, he's all about Ted, but nonetheless he's maybe the most amazing self-promoter I've ever seen up close and personal. And so nothing else. I mean, his name is out there and people know who he is, and so I think Ted has, on balance, been a positive force for us. And I mean, the Secret Service looked him over in a serious fashion and decided not to put him in handcuffs and throw him in jail. So as far as I'm concerned, Ted's had a great conversation with him the other night, and man, that guy can play guitar. So it's I'm a fan of his, and I know he's a fan of our band. And I mean, obviously, my colleague Tommy Shaw worked with him for a number of years in Damn Yankees. So
right.
It's all good with Mr. Nugent, and he's entitled to his politics, and I'm entitled to mine, and he's a lot more vocal about his. And but when we get together with the 3 acts, it's all about the music. And when we come to Cape Coral on May 31st, it's going to just be all about the music.
Absolutely. I recently got a copy of your latest DVD, Grand Illusion Pieces of 8 Live. That is an amazing DVD. How is it playing some of those songs that you hadn't played in years or that you had never played live before?
The crazy thing is that this got brought up to us, and it was sort of an independent promoter that's done very well for himself. Mentioned this to our manager, and our manager kind of brought the whole notion to us, and I thought, well, let's hear these obscure songs from 30 years ago, and I didn't necessarily see the charm, and I knew it was going to be a lot of work on our part to make it great and work it up into something that really was meaningful, but everyone else seemed to embrace the idea, and I do trust the collective judgment of our management and my colleagues in the band STYX. So I went along with it, and then put 110% of my energies into making it great, and particularly after once we saw that, I mean, end the show. Renegade is this kind of the third to last song. Typically, we end every show with Renegade.
Right.
But for this concert, because the order of the songs on the Pieces of 8 album, Renegade is track 3 on side 2 of the Pieces of 8, and then there's the title track, Pieces of 8, which is kind of a ballad with a big minor key verse and a major key sort of chorus, but then it kind of drifts off in this sort of ethereal thing that kind of just drifts off into nothing. And I said, we can't end a show like that, but we decided to try, and Tommy had an idea for this great visual thing, and it just so we played the show in Evansville, Indiana, as kind of a test outside of our hometown of Chicago before we actually brought it to Chicago, and the response as we got softer and softer at the end of this thing was the crowd got louder and louder and louder and louder, and so fortunately, once again, the majority was correct in this sense, and people just embraced the show, and we haven't played west of the Mississippi with it yet. We did it up in Clearwater at the Ruth Eckerd Hall there, but we didn't really get down far south in Florida. And but in the long run, it just took on a momentum of its own. And we decided this is so great, we have to videotape it. And so the only real opportunity was in a theater in Memphis, which worked out great, and took us a year to post-produce it, and it came out, and it was charted number 7 in the Billboard Music DVDs the first week out, and number 2 Blu-ray DVD behind Adele on Amazon.com, so first week sales. So it's
not too shabby.
Made a little dent, and we're really, really proud of that show, and I recommend everybody pick it up because it came out great, and even though I was not a big fan of the idea to start with, I put all my energy to it, as did everybody else in the band, and it's a phenomenal, great piece for anybody that's interested in STYX.
Absolutely great. A lot of people get down on bands that tour without original members. I've had the opportunity to see STYX with Dennis DeYoung, and now with Lawrence fronting the band. And I got to tell you, the band rocks harder, and it's just a lot more fun nowadays. I think your live show is better than it's ever been.
I completely agree with that. The fun factor has been kicked up a few notches, and Dennis is an incredibly talented writer and unique vocalist with a very recognizable voice and very, very definite ideas about what he wants to do. And he sort of just kind of drifted away from what the rest of us had in mind. And ultimately, we parted company with him in '99. And Lawrence was a superstar in Canada, for some reason never broke through in the States. And he, along with this line of STYX, in some ways remains kind of one of the best-kept secrets in rock out there, and this is the juggernaut of megatainment, as I sometimes call it. And when we get there, it's like a 5 or 6 ring circus, depending on if Chuck Panazzo, original bass player, shows up or not. But it's really about we are having so much fun. It's probably a crime in some state anyway. And we've found the joy in what we do, and we bring this great sort of joyful attitude to the stage, and kind of the crowd gets swept up in it, and then they kind of regenerate that wave, and before you know it, the whole place is surfing this giant wave of joy, and that's what we're going to be doing May 31st in Cape Coral. Surfing the big wave of joy.
Good deal. Do you know whether Chuck is going to play the gig with you? I know he plays a lot of the Florida dates with you guys.
Well, considering it's just the drive across Alligator Alley to where he lives, I damn well better be there.
All right, good. Before you go, I wanted to ask you, have you guys made any plans to record any new STYX music?
I would say that we have ongoing plans to get started on it, and just a lot of things have gotten in the way, and I don't think we're ever going to record an album, but we will probably record a track here and a track there and kind of put them out one at a time, almost going back to like the 50s and putting singles out.
Well, that's kind of the way the industry is going nowadays anyway.
Well, it really is, and it's easy to get a single distributed, just by downloads and what have you across the board, and but it's virtually impossible for us to get airplay, and as much as your station as a supporter of our band, I know that most classic rock stations don't believe in playing new music. That's just kind of what ownership and management that's the conclusion their research has brought them to. So, the biggest new airplay thing we've had in the last 10 years is I Am the Walrus cover that we did.
I remember it very well.
So, but we're going to be putting stuff out there because we never give up.
Good deal. We're talking with James J.Y. Young of STYX, coming to Cape Coral May 31st for a special free concert presented by Fusillo Kia in the Cape, and also another date, June 3rd at Ruth Eckerd Hall in Clearwater. I know we got a lot of listeners up in that neck of the woods, too. James, J.Y., I want to thank you so much for calling in today, and we look forward to seeing you on May 31st.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it myself.